Hi, I'm going to try to show you how to fold paper kimonos. Folding origami patterns can be a lot of fun, especially if you don't try a pattern that's way too difficult. And this kimono pattern is really simple. You see here three different kimonos, different papers, two different sizes of paper. The basics are to start with a piece of paper that is about 3 times as tall as it is wide. So this is from a 6-inch piece of origami paper. This is the pattern on one side of it. This is the pattern on another. Especially when you're learning a folding pattern, it can really help if you have paper that is different on the two sides, because the good written instructions will actually tell you about the front and the back, and it helps you keep track of what you're doing. But so the basics of it, I'm going to call this the front of this paper, and I'm going to call this, where it's just the little green chrysanthemums, the back. And I'm starting with it on the back, and I'm going to fold down about 1/4 of an inch. And you notice I'm not measuring it. I'm just doing it. I've folded it once. I'm going to fold it a second time, and this forms the collar of the kimono. And so you want to crease it fairly firmly because you want it to stay folded. Now I'm going to pick up the paper and turn it over. I want to fold down the collar in the middle, and so I want to find the middle first, and so I'm going to bring the two corners together to try to help me find the middle. And so I'm going to pinch it a little bit. I'm pinching at the collar, and I'm also pinching a little bit down here because it'll give me a folding line. So you can see that crease there, and I'm going to use my fingernail to kind of hold the paper right at where I want it to fold and fold that down. And if I've done this right, then when I fold this other corner down, it will end up at the same level as the first one, and it's doing it. So we found the middle. The next part of this is something you kind of have to do by feel. You're deciding how much paper to put in the body of the kimono down here and how much to commit up to the sleeves. You definitely want to have at least 1/4 of an inch from the top of the point of the collar to where this crease is, and maybe a little bit more. And you also want the sleeve to come far enough down the body of the kimono. And this is looking like it may be about right, so I'm going to go ahead and commit to folding the bottom of the body. And then I'm going to try to make sure I've got things lined up here, and I'm folding this top crease. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to fold these outside edges in to line up with the collar. And so you want to get all the layers of paper and fold them in. Try not to let the middle layers of paper slide out, and just fold it nice and firmly. And same thing with this side. We're going to fold this long edge in so that it lines up with the edge of the collar. And there we go. Now you can see it's not perfect because there's a little bit of this paper sticking out here, but you won't really notice that. And if it bothers you, you could do the no-no and take a little pair of scissors and trim it back just a little bit, but I would say just leave it. Now you want to open up the sleeves. You kind of pull the two edges apart. You use your finger to kind of work up into that corner and end up with a triangle at the top of the shoulder there. Same thing over here. I'm working up here, and I'm going to press that down. So you can see I've got the two sleeves, I've got the collar, I've got the body of the kimono. I'm going to pick it up, and I'm just going to bend back these upper parts here. Now you've got a finished kimono. You can see how the collar kind of stands up from the rest of the body of the kimono, and you can see the sleeves and all like that. And there's lots of things you could do with this. I made a garland of little kimonos for the Christmas tree one time. I took a little 1/8" ribbon and placed it in the fold in back and glued it in place. So this fold back here, if you lay the ribbon right through here, you can glue it down. It can be handy to use these little glue dots. There's a clear plastic layer and a paper layer, and you peel it off, the paper comes away. Now you've got a piece of plastic, and you place that glue dot where you want it, and then peel the plastic off, and then it becomes the little spot of glue just in the right place to hold things together. So I hope you enjoy making kimonos. You can make them out of all kinds of paper. You can decorate your own paper to make them. Here's a larger one that was made out of 8.5 by 11 paper that was cut into a strip of about the right portions, and I hope you have a lot of fun.